Hello, my name is Phyllis Lingard. I am an aromatherapist. I've got credentialed through School of Aromatics, which is an accredited school located in New York. I'm currently continuing my education and my accreditation through this same school so that I can continue to be learned and versed in the area of aromatherapy, essential oils, and herbs as they relate to our wellness. So today I want to talk about, before I start to talk about this, I need to make this statement. Everything that I'm covering in this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to treat, heal, diagnose, or cure any illness or disease. Anything that I discussed that you are looking to try, I would advise that you would speak to your physician first. We try to not hinder their work because doctors are necessary, but we also understand that God has left us something in the earth realm that, if doctors are open to it, can work hand in hand with whatever they're utilizing in their practices. So I wanted to make that very, very clear. The music that you're listening to in the background is smooth gospel jazz, and it's by Victory Outreach Church located in Anaheim. I am a believer. I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ. So when I speak about these issues, I speak from a biblical perspective, meaning that I start there and then I bring everything into a current context. So I'm here to talk about what is aromatherapy, but before I can talk about aromatherapy, I just want to bring the historical content into your hearing. There are approximately 600 references in the Bible with the use of essential oils, and I'm going to give the difference between that. Essential oils, incense, and ointments that were given to us at the creation of the world by God. Actually, essential oils was not a term that was used in the beginning. Really, there were incense, there were oils, there were resins, there were those things. Anointing oils were made with using pure vegetable oils, and most of the time they were infused with botanicals. And I will share with you what a botanical is. It means that a botanical is derived from plants, and they're referred to in the health and wellness industry as plants or parts of plants with medicinal value or health benefits. That's what botanicals are. The Bible gives us a brief history of oils and their uses. Oils were referred to as aromatic plants or aromatic oils or anointing oils. And you hear the word aromatic, gives you a sense of it's in the air, so you're able to smell it. They were referred to as infused oils, not essential oils. They were referred to as infused oils. Aromatic plants and infusions were prepared from them, and they were used in medicines and cosmetics for thousands of years. So this is not something that's new. This is something that's always been in our environment. It was here from the creation of this world. Aromatherapy is the usage of essential oils from plants for healing. And that word, the word aroma, brings to mind aroma, smelling something, which is true. Your senses are utilized, but they can also be applied through your skin. In some instances, they can be taken by mouth, but that is in very rare cases. You don't want to put these oils into your mouth. Aromatherapy, it promotes a sense of relaxation and calmness. Some oils were used in various treatments. Now they're used in various treatments, diabetes, depression, cancer, different things like that. Now, I want to say to you that aromatherapy is thought to work by stimulating the smell, receptors in your nose, which then sends messengers through your nervous system to the limbic system. So it's a system that's set up that your nose smells something. It's just not there to smell anything. It's something that it does. Well, it sends these signals into your body. Imagine smelling something really, really good. So how does your body react when you're smelling something that's really, really good? Now imagine smelling something that's not so good. How does your body react? So it shows us that our senses, our sense of smell, plays a big part on the state or the status of our mind and our well-being. So this is what that refers to. Um, the word essential oils did not come about until distillation of oils were created, and this is a method used to produce essential oils back. It started like the 10th century. They started doing this. There is a book on essential oil, using essential oils safely. It's a guide for healthcare professionals, but it's by Robert Tisserand and Rodney Young. You can purchase that on Amazon if you want to know more about essential oils. The oils that in the scents that were created, they were equated to be able to help in past times, in biblical times, to help bring a sense of being closer to God and a return to natural methods of healing in our everyday life. That's what those oils were made for. The oils that we use, they were practiced, like the practice of pouring anointing oil over an object or a person to consecrate them in the eyes of God. So it had a purpose. It was used for that. It was used for cosmetics. The Egyptians and Greeks, they used these oils for rituals and for healing purposes, as did the Chinese and the Indians. So the effects of these oils have been proven through those cultures and their usages. They use them for everything, and they continue to use them for everything. They cited them for healing. They did what they needed to do with them. They even when their rulers, Pharisees, when they died, their bodies were covered with all of these oils. When Jesus was sitting at the table and the woman came in with the alabaster box, those oils were used. Those were oils that were used. They weren't essential oils. They were oils that were infused from the plants, and those produced the scents, like that scent of spikenard or lavender. Those were the oils that were being used at that particular time. As a matter of fact, just an FYI, the value of the oils to health and wellness being used in the plants that produce them became so valuable that the Pharisees in Jesus' time required the people to turn over a 10%, which is a taxation system that they had. 10%, we know it as tithing, of the oil producing herbs and spices that they cultivated. So they were making money off of these oils even back then. It had nothing to do, from their perspective, of any healing or anything, but because the Pharisees saw the wealth and how much it produced, then they wanted to get some money from it. So they created this system that would require people to turn around and take 10% of what they made from their production and give it over to them. But I thought that was interesting when I was reading about this, how they just took that, something that was used for other purposes, and they said, well, I want a piece of that pie, and they required them to give 10%. Just as now, essential oils, when essential oils began to be used in the 10th century through distillation methods, which is a method that's used to pull the oils from the plant and then create these essential oils that were bottled. That's how they got called. They were called essential oils. These oils were bottled, and they were then used and sold. So now we call them essential oils. We don't call them infused oils or anything like that. We call them essential oils. So we're to the essential oils revolution now. And now I've noticed that there are a variety of companies who are creating aromatic scents to put in diffusers that plug into the wall or that go by battery or just stand alone, so that they can release them into the atmosphere to create a certain scent. So they're getting it, but they're not really utilizing. I don't believe quality oils. That's a different class. So how does this benefit you? How can knowing about aromatherapy, or possibly the use of some of the oils that were created, how can it benefit you? As I said before, the Egyptians and Greeks, they used them for rituals and healing purposes. Even the Chinese and Indians did. There are oils even now that the medical profession has come to understand has an impact on the treatment of individuals. They don't go totally for utilizing them only, because why? Because it's not going to make any money. Money has been the crux of these oils since the Pharisees implemented the 10%. I believe it was in I want to say 38. I'm not too sure. But that's when they stopped with the natural usage and began to, for medications, began to produce their own. That's where the FDA comes in at, because man is introducing chemicals and creating these products from that, and it has to be regulated. So that regulation started, and when that regulation started, of course, somebody's going to want some money from doing all this stuff. So the natural use of things were put to the side, and here comes the creation of these pharmaceuticals that carry with them more side effects at times than the actual disease carries with them for the individual. But they were used, and they believed in their healing power back then. As I said before, oils were sacred. They were looked at as sacred. They had purpose for consecrating objects or individuals. There was a woman in the Bible who was a dyer of purple. That purple was extracted from a plant, and it produced wealth. So people were really, really wealthy. Spikenard, or lavender as we call it, is another oil that was totally used. One of the teachers, the founder of this aromatherapy, severely burned himself and found that he had second degree burns or third degree burns. It's second, I think. And I said I think, so don't quote me. But in any event, he really suffered horrendous burns. And from what we were taught, he covered his hand. He was working with lavender. And he actually just covered his hand in lavender oil. And the lavender oil produced a healing of the severe burns that he had on his hands. And I'm trying to think of his name. I'm going to get his name, and I didn't mean to bring that up for the day, but that's one of the benefits of essential oils, that they have found that produces that healing concept. Also, the fact that they found that lavender oil can also remove paint stains. There's so many. You can look this up on Google. You'll find a lot of information on Google regarding essential oils and their purposes and what they have done. Now you may find that they have seen this in clinical trials. They have seen these practiced on animals, but they're not too sure if it's good for humans. But if you do your research, you're going to find that people have been using these things with great success in some areas. So how does it benefit you? Well, some of the things that I do as an aromatherapist, I had someone who was really anxious. They needed to rest, and they didn't know how to rest. So I created this candle. Now I'm not a candle maker. So basically, what I do is with my clients, if I'm talking to them and doing an assessment, and they want to try something to help relax them. So I created a candle, and this candle is called Be Anxious for Nothing. It's a relaxation. It gets rid of stress. There are certain oils that were created that address stress, depression, all of those good things. Also, relaxation. So, what this is a diffusing oil. This is in a 3 milliliter container. I make them in larger, but this was just a sample. And with this, it's just put in a water-based diffuser, a certain amount of drops, depending on the size of your diffuser, and it goes into the atmosphere. And as you're inhaling this, it really does help your body to relax. I've also had a roll-on for one person to utilize that. So that's one way that these oils are beneficial. The other way is during the pandemic, everything was going crazy, and they were really emphasizing cleanliness, washing your hands, and they produce these hand sanitizers. Well, the hand sanitizers are so, to me, they were so harsh because they dried your hands out when you were using them. So I wanted something that I could use that was not was going to be effective, have what the CDC required so far as alcohol content, but then I wanted to add something that would keep your hands moist. It wouldn't dry your skin out, because when you're using things and it's constantly drying your skin out, that's when they become ashy and they're rough feeling, those kind of things. So I created a hand sanitizer during that period of time that was very, very, very effective. I had a lot of people asking me about hand sanitizer. So that was one thing. That's another benefit. The other benefit is for myself, because I have sinuses. Oh God. And I really didn't want to take prescription drugs, putting the nose sprays in my nose. I just got a tack with my sinuses, and I couldn't really understand what was going on. Going outside, coming back in, and my nose would start running, and then if it ran for a little while, then I would get a headache. So it was just horrible. And so what I did was I created a blend, is called, for sinuses. And I utilized that in my diffuser, either in my bigger diffuser in my living room as I was working at the table, or in my bedroom at night. And it helps clear out my sinuses. And then finally, one of the other things that I did with myself again, and then with other people, I created it's not that much left, but I created a anti-inflammatory cream. Now, why did I do it for myself? Well, I started having these pains or something in my leg, and I knew it was inflammation. I had taken some courses on inflammation, and everything pointed to the fact that it was inflammatory. Inflammation counts for so many things in our body, and I'm going to do a teaching on that at some point again. And so I made this oil, I made this cream rather for myself to rub on. And I was sent by my doctor to an orthopedist. I went, but I was using the cream, and I found that it eliminated some of the inflammation. So I didn't have the pressure. Like I'm sitting here talking to you, my thigh muscle would start to ache, and I'd have to walk it out. But when I started using this cream, this anti-inflammatory cream, I found that I could sit and do what I needed to do, and it wasn't hurting me as much. And then, of course, after that, I made a bone and joint cream, following the teaching of our professor. But those are the benefits, and there are other benefits that essential oils provide. I would just say that you need to be experienced and learned in exploring essential oils. You have to get the right type of oils. You just can't go into a CVS and a Walmart. You can't go into those stores and buy it. They have oils there, but those are not pure oils. If you want pure oils, you have to get them from a company that has already gone through some rigorous testings of the oil. You can utilize, plant therapy is a good place that I get a lot of my oils from, because they go through this distillation process. Sometimes the vitamin store or GNC. Those are other places that are in your reach, or a natural health store. They generally have those oils that have been through the testing. They're dealing with those kind of oils. So you want to be careful with getting those. So that's what I want to come and talk about today. Just the fact that what aromatherapy is, why it's important, how it sets the mood, the tone. Essential oils, a little bit about essential oils and why they're important and why they can be utilized in your life. There are so many things that you can do with essential oils that I'll be sharing in the future, and possibly doing so. I'm going to be doing some classes on various situations in oils. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do those, how I can do those online without doing them in person, but we'll come to the conclusion. I'll get the answer on that. So look forward to my next YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to build that channel up to be the place where I'll be doing teaching. I need your help. We can help one another. Just share, like, and tag. Go to the YouTube station and subscribe to it, so that when I'm doing something, you'll get notification of what I'm doing. I will post a flyer on Facebook, but I'm going to be doing my presentations and my classes via YouTube in the near future. Again, my name is Phyllis Lingard. I am your aromatherapist. Should you decide to connect, if you're on Facebook, you can seek me out at Physician Heal Thyself. That is the Facebook group I have. Or you can also email me at Physician Heal Thyself at gmail.com. You can send an email there and I'll respond to you. And I always say within 24 to 48 hours, because there are a lot of things that I'm doing. As a matter of fact, the Gmail address is healthyself56 at gmail.com. Healthyself56 at gmail.com. So you can contact me through email. If you're desiring to connect with me for a consultation, you can do so. I am going to create a site that you can go to, and you can see what my consultation fees are, what my class fees are, and you can go from there. So this has been enjoyable. I thank you for tuning in, and until next time, remember, you got it. You can heal yourself. Bye-bye.